Let's roll on New England Patriots, 10-7, 6-2 on the road at the Miami Dolphins, 9-8, 6-3 at home last season. We're at Hard Rock Stadium, Miami Gardens, Florida. As always, isolated thunderstorms in Miami. Doesn't mean anything at this time of year. 88 Fahrenheit, 7 miles per hour. I want to move on the Patriots team total under in this one. That is the plan at this point, but let's talk it out. The Patriots opened up as 2.5-point dogs. They've moved to 3.5. I could have and should have probably got in on the Dolphins at -3. It wasn't even that juiced until about noon today. You could get this at a regular line until noon today. At noon, it moved drastically. It was an 18-cent move at Pinnacle. And then, of course, moved to within 14 minutes of it being like heavily juiced at 3, it moved to 3.5. So if I'm too late on the Dolphins, I don't think I'm too late on the Patriots team total under. And part of the reason why I like it is because this total is surged up to 47 from the 44 opener. And Papa Cult saying days ago could have gotten a 2.5. Yeah, but I don't mind moving on this team total under right now with this total rising. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this one. 19,393 tickets in, 68% of the tickets, 70% of the cash on the fish, and then 40% of the tickets, 59% of the cash on the over. The Dolphins have a very difficult start to this season. Weeks 2 through 4, they face Ravens, Bills, and Bengals. It's imperative that they get the W here. Last year, the Dolphins swept both games from the Patriots. There's a lot of excitement around the fish this year. New head coach Mike McDaniel, superstar receiver Tyreek Hill joining the squad from the Chiefs. They've missed the playoffs 5 straight years. Can Tua Tagovailoa take his game to the next level? I would love to hear Andy's take on that. He needs to be better. Maybe with Tyreek Hill he can be. He also has Jalen Waddle and Cedric Wilson. This team is capable of being very dangerous. Shout out to Cheshire Cat. Thank you so much for the $10 dono, my guy. Respect. And he says, honest question, how do you cap cheaters in the NFL?
You give them an extra half point on the line because they're trying harder.
Okay, Ella, you can say quick hi, but you got to go. Okay, Ella, just come in and say hi. She's going to bed. Okay.
It's bedtime down there.
Okay, please, Ella. Okay, close the door. My love. Have a great night. Okay.
And
they said that when I got a door that this wouldn't be happening, but we're developing an issue with the lock on the door, and I will work that out. Let's stay focused here. He needs to be better. Tua. This team is capable of being very dangerous. Last year, Tua threw for 2,653 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. Chase Edmonds comes in from Arizona. Raheem Mostert and Myles Gaskin will help. Departing head coach Brian Flores seemed to get the most out of this defense. Is this capable of happening with Mike McDaniel? On defense, they have Raekwon Davis up front. He had weak numbers against the run. If you look at Pro Football Focus, he had a bad season. Melvin Ingram, Jerome Baker at linebacker. Xavier Ward comes back after intercepting 10 times in 10 interceptions last year. Patriots offense looked abysmal in the preseason. They lose offensive coordinator Josh McDaniels. He goes over to the Raiders. They have 2 defensive-minded failures in Patricia and Joe Judge, co-offensive coordinators. The whole thing is very confusing. Mac Jones had a strong rookie season. Look, I can understand why anyone would trust him. 3,801 yards passing, 22 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Damian Harris ran for 929 yards, 15 touchdowns. Ramondre Stevenson was great too, 606 yards, 5 touchdowns. Devontae Parker comes in from Miami. He'll team up with Myers and Bourne. Defensively is where this team is expected to excel. Matthew Judon, we saw how exceptional he was last year. Juwan Bentley, Mac Wilson. Secondary, they're deep. McCourty, Phillips, Duggar, Jabril Peppers. I want this Pats team total under. I can't wait to hear you break this down. Take it away for us, Andy. Patriots, Dolphins.
I had a Mac Jones Rookie of the Year ticket, so I cheered strong. And maybe it's you talk about your biases, and when you have that ticket and you are set to make a bunch of money if it works out, sometimes you think Mac Jones is maybe a little better than he is. And I think that's maybe where I went back and took a look at things, and I was like, damn, they didn't ask him to do very much. I mean, the perfect microcosm of that was the Bills game with the wind where he threw the ball, less than 5 times. So, I mean, it wasn't always that extreme, but they didn't ask him to do a lot often. And now they lose their offensive coordinator of the last decade and are replacing him with a couple head coaches that got fired from their jobs after they left, who were a defensive coordinator and a special teams guy. So I have no idea what is going on in New England. Maybe just like the kids, Jimmy, we're putting this dynasty to bed. It's done. Like if this is truly what we're going to roll out instead of, because this is how it's worked. Bill Belichick is just a really good coach, great leader. He gets buy-in. He obviously, if you want to go down that route, he's just ahead of the curve on as far as cheating. That helps too. But like he always had this, great coordinators, especially on the offensive side. And we'll see how that turns out. It's not what you want in this second year, this developmental year for your young quarterback. It's like they're setting him up to fail. So I'm really, really, really low on this Patriots offense. And I get it. I've seen the Miami money come in today. Man, there's about 25 other teams I would have loved to steam up a line with, but I'm not a Tua believer. He has so many things to fix in his mechanisms, and I guess it could be a thing where maybe he's, it's been long enough since that hip injury. I've read articles about that hip injury and just how long it takes to really get everything back in place, because it's all just part of your core and your throwing motion. Maybe Tua takes this big step forward. They've certainly built around him. If he sucks, they have absolutely screwed the pooch, because they spent a bunch of money. They spent a bunch of assets. They put a lot of pieces around him, and they better have a plan B, because they have a good team, and it can be a great team if he takes a step forward. I'm not a believer. I haven't seen it. I don't know what would change with him for him to be great. So I'm wanting to fade the Patriots here, but I don't believe enough in Tua to do it.
Yeah, and at 3.5, I can understand hesitating. But this Pats team total under is sitting at 20.5. It's slightly juiced to the under, and I want in on it. What do you think of the Pats team total under?
Yeah, I don't hate that. I don't know if he's referring to Cheshire Cat's referring to Bailey Zappi. Like Bailey Zappi, I have a rookie of the year ticket on him at a big old number, hoping that Mac Jones just stinks. None of the other quarterbacks play, but and it's tough to fade this team, but yeah, that might be a look. This defense is going to be good, and it has like all the names you mentioned. There's a lot of good players, but sometimes it feels like this defense just starts slow in the season, but man, by the middle of the season, it's usually humming right along. What a pickup of Judon the other year. That worked out great. So I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I lean towards this under, but generally staying away. And I don't hate your look. I like that. Like I said, I'm fading the Patriots. I lean towards the under. So I guess I'm kind of on the same page as here.
I'm going to be moving on that this evening. It's not 47 at all booked, 46.5 where I'm at, but I'm going to move on that team total under 20.5 for the Patriots.
We at Pub Sports Radio are doing our own Cappers contest. $100 entry fee. We will all be competing against each other. Every single cent that's put in will go into the prizes.
You've got 5 picks every week. If you go to pubsportsradio.com, you buy yourself that little ticket that you see on the website right there. Just hit add a cart. You buy the little ticket right there. And after you buy the ticket, you'll get an email with a link and a specific password for you to log in, make your picks, and all that good jam.
So it coincides, of course, with a survivor pool. 1 pick per week, sports survivor pool. That's exciting. We're having a Cappers contest, 5 picks against the spread each week, and a survivor contest. We all get to host the victors and roast the losers. The Cappers contest at Pub Sports Radio. All you have to do is go to pubsportsradio.com to sign up.